meditation, but just to give you guys an idea that just a little bit into the workshop, we'll have some quiet time to close the eyes and go inside. And then we'll actually do actually, let me bring up, since we're just kind of greeting everyone in, let me bring up the PowerPoint slide of the agenda today. We have take a moment, and I think at this point, Nourishment Buddies are, I'm not sure who's on for Nourishment Buddies, so I think I'll probably just partner you with a person and just, reflect on the past 7 weeks, 6 weeks, pardon me, and reflect on, how it worked and what you hope to do moving forward. Like, what do you want to bring moving forward? And then 10 tips to help meditate every day. I know that meditation for a lot of you has shown some benefit, or we're going to keep moving on it and doing it, but how do you kind of create space to do that? So I'll talk about that. And then we'll shift into doing a loving kindness meditation. And then we'll have, I'll close off the ceremony calling the 4 directions, and we'll have a little talking circle. And so probably be done possibly before 6. We'll see how things go. Okay. All right. So why don't we partner up and just spend maybe 5 minutes talking to our just a partner. I'll do a breakout room, and just share with them how the last couple weeks went with yoga, with meditation, and with the cleanse, and then we will come back in and also talk about actually what do you want to move forward. So yoga, meditation, cleanse, how it went for the past 6 weeks, and what you hope to do moving forward. How's that sound? It's like a good conversation to have, and then we'll come back into the group. Okay, so just one-on-one. We just put you in a breakout room with anybody. We'll do 5 minutes per person. Okay. Sarah, are you joining? Okay, cool. Laurel? Lori, would you mind going with meeting up with Caroline in the breakout room, Lori? Or are you busy?
No, I can do that. How do I do that?
There should be a request to go into a breakout room. Why'd you?
I'm not seeing one right now.
Okay.
Maybe let me hit join breakout rooms.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay, got it.
Well, there's 2 other people there with you. I didn't see your message until too late. Hey, Marion.
Hey, Pete. How's
Good
it
to
going?
see you. Good. I have people in breakout rooms
Cool.
talking about how things went. And so why don't you and I talk about that since you and I are in our own little breakout room.
Great.
So
Ah,
I posed the question to the community about kind of like how things went for the past 6 weeks and maybe deciding kind of what you want to do moving forward.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's been really great for me. I think the biggest success has really been meditating, which
Mhm.
I hadn't done for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So I've meditated, twice a day,
Nice.
almost every day.
Sweet.
And it's definitely just created like a little extra space in my life, even like 15 minutes twice a day.
Mhm.
To be able to make more conscious choices about everything else and just have a little like mental break.
Mhm.
Um, so that's been great. And I've also been it's just given me sort of the motivation to experiment with like how to set up my schedule such that I can do some yoga every day.
Mhm.
And I've been, it's just like the timing of everything in my life being pretty dominated by kids and work. It's really tricky. I've tried to wake up early to do exercise and yoga, and I just can't get to bed early enough to make it sustainable. So
Yeah.
I've sort of figured out a way where I can like wake up early enough to meditate without anyone bothering me, and then I could have another period a little bit later, right before I get to work, where I can do like a half an hour practice.
Mhm.
And I think that seems to be sustainable, but just like the motivation to like experiment and like try to find something that could work over the longer run has been
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah, and it's such a weird thing too. I think with the kids, like, I spent about a year barely having a yoga practice. And then, this past year, I'm kind of been reclaiming my own little routine. And I imagine that shifts and changes depending upon where the kids are in their growth and their needs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you practice on your own in the early in the morning, like before you do your 8 to 9
No, I
class?
have, when I'm teaching in a studio space and I'm not practicing along, I definitely usually will carve out time to practice either on my own or in a studio space with another teacher. Um, I think if I had like if I had enough time, I probably would carve out time. But again, it's like sometimes Stephanie, my wife, is up late and
Mhm.
she doesn't get a chance to sleep, so I have to get up for Quinn and caretaker
Yep.
before I teach. Or we just bought a Peloton, so we have a Peloton, which has been really nice to get some aerobic activity, get
Yeah.
movement in,
Yeah.
especially when the smoke came through.
Yeah.
It's kind of what we have in mind for. But yeah, so I've gone through different phases of kind of like really, I mean, I feel like I've been teaching for 14 years. I practice pretty much every day. And then, with Quinn coming, it was just like it wasn't happening. So,
Yep.
yeah.
I hear you on
Yeah. How
that.
many kids do you have, Mary?
Two. I have a 3-year-old and a 7-year-old.
Right, right. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. I get outside in the forest a lot more though. We go to the forest or the beach a few times a week at least, and they just like play, and I could
Yeah,
just chill out.
yeah.
So it's sort of different rhythms.
Hmm. Yeah, Quinn's just getting to a place where she's starting to play on her own, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. Yep. My boys like to now play with each other, which is more recent, which is really
Oh,
awesome.
yeah. Yeah, I guess 3 is when they start shifting away from themselves into playing with other people, right? 2,
Yeah. It's
yeah,
really just in the last like 6 months
yeah,
that my 3-year-old is like interested in. I mean, he's always been interested in his brother because his brother's like cool and older, but he doesn't need like a social life. He's just like wants to be with us.
Yeah.
That is changing a little, which is good too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and so diet wise, I cleaned up my diet quite a bit. And I think it's funny, I've done this, I did the 40 days for every year, sometimes twice a year
Hmm.
for a bunch, probably about 5 or 6 years. And I just remember how good it is to have a reset. That's how it feels to me.
Yeah.
And I think we all need like a little bit of a reset. And so I'm going to try to put this into a yearly thing for me, because I think it's good for the students as well as for myself, because it's fun to follow along with this. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about your diet? Anything work for your diet?
Yeah, I mean, so alcohol, I was like having a cocktail a lot of evenings, like just one, it wasn't a lot, but it was definitely like I would be like maybe once every 2 weeks before the pandemic, I would have like a cocktail or something. And so I've had probably like 4 cocktails over the last 40 days total, and it just hasn't been that good.
Yeah.
It's been like, oh, like it feels a little bit like poison sometimes.
Yeah, I know.
now. So it's just good to be aware, like it, and it was clearly, I was like, and it consciously, like, I was like, I just need to like loosen up my head, because this is like too much for me right now.
Yeah.
So the sort of coping of that and the habit of that has been really good to question and be like, is this for like, if I need to relax, that's fine, just not like every day.
Yeah.
And then I've been doing stuff like kitchery has been really helpful. And like some of the other things just as part of the cleanse, where I'm like, oh yeah, like I can do like really simple vegetables or grains, or legumes, and just make a big batch of it. Because otherwise I won't make food every day for myself.
Yeah.
Kitchery has been good too.
This is such a good, grounded, healthy, good feeling.
Yeah. I know, I like feel good about myself early in the morning.
Right.
Yeah.
Hi, Maya. We're doing little breakout rooms, checking in with how things went the past 6 weeks and having a short little conversation about moving forward.
Oh, sorry to Zoom bomb your breakout room.
Well, we can hear yours now.
Yeah, right. Maya, how things go with you?
Things are good. I'm honestly, in the past week, had a lot going on and just kind of like schedule change, and I was in a different place, so keeping the practice was a bit harder this week. But I think in terms of how things have gone well, or like highlights, my partner and I started meditating together, which has been like so impactful and meaningful for me to like, for us to have that experience, but also just like be in that kind of same mindset with each other.
Yeah.
So that's been really great. And then I think long term, I'm like a vegetarian for a while, which I know wasn't really like the aim of this cleanse, but it was something that has been important for me for a long time. And I feel very happy to kind of make that shift, as well as like move away from processed foods and try and eat more just like whole foods and not packaged stuff.
Yeah. Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, it is interesting tracking kind of all the crap I've eaten over the past 8 months. It's nice to kind of get that together, so to speak. Although I did have a donut today. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I'm up in New York, so they have like apple cider donuts at the apple orchards and stuff, and they are really good.
Yeah,
so
I can
that's definitely been
imagine.
a treat.
Yeah. Okay, the crew's coming back in. Hi, Ann. Hi,
Okay.
Josie. Okay, welcome back. We'll get a chance to share as a group toward the end about how things went. But I thought it might be good actually for us to hit up just a brief little discussion around meditation. But I want to share this this sutra with you before we shift into that. One becomes firmly established in practice only after tending to it for a long time without interruption and with an attitude of devotion. So the sutras actually talk about how, in some ways, us building these habits, the Yoga Sutras, of practicing on a regular basis helps to support an establishment of either meditation or yoga practice. But I do find that for a lot of us, yoga is easier to put together than and meditation. And primarily, I think that's because it feels good to move the body. We don't necessarily notice right away the benefits of meditation, even though they're happening, because they're a little more sublime and more subtle. And so meditation, I think it's worthwhile having just a couple of tips to help you meditate every day. Okay. One is just get it done first thing in the morning. Like, when you kind of put it off, and next thing you know, it's not really working for you. So first thing in the morning, you roll out of bed, have your mat there, and then you can start meditating, right? And so prioritizing kind of goes along with that. So keep it familiar from the aspect of kind of like, there's a space that you have put aside that is your meditation, and it is like just there for you all the time. Like there's no question, like the meditation mat is there, the block is there, maybe your shawl is there, you maybe have a Tibetan bowl or something of that sort. Keep it familiar. So this is beneficial when you kind of relate it to something else. Like, for example, I'll often, when I do my workshops, my 3-hour workshops, I'll have yoga, meditation before the yoga, or meditation afterwards. So there's something that you can kind of put it on to some other activity that you're doing already. It's like, okay, I'm going out to the car to pick up the bread or something like that. I'm going to sit in the car when I get back, so I'm not disturbed. And like there's something around it that helps it support it. It's putting on to something else. So if you drive to the car, maybe you do meditation in the car when you get home every morning or something of that sort. Okay, just a reminder that you can be flexible. It doesn't always have to be like 5, 10, 20 minutes, an hour. Just any type of meditation that you can do during the day is helpful. And if you don't do it, cultivate a sense of compassion for yourself. Be less judgmental around it. And please don't judge me for misspelling judgmental. Don't judge me. And there are benefits, even though if you might not see them, know that there are benefits to this, right? It could be physical benefits, like from the aspect of lowering your blood pressure or helping work with your anxiety, or could be finding more clarity in the day or finding more time to go do things because you're much more focused. Okay, so, and just remember that you're going to have every excuse in the book to not do it. Put that aside and meditate. It's also helpful to buddy up. And so I mentioned before, one of the ways I stayed on meditation is by actually going to a Buddhist meditation center. And so like the Insight Timer has you knowing when you're doing it. Some of you mentioned, Maya just mentioned that she's been meditating with her partner. Like these kind of, if you kind of set aside some time with your person that you're with, or partner up with a friend when they're meditating, maybe if it's like a Zoom meditation, it can be helpful to have support with that. And then just recognizing you're managing your expectations. Maybe you don't meditate every day. This kind of goes along with being less judgmental, right? Just know that sometimes you're not going to get it. Okay. Just curious, any pros or cons or any thoughts around meditating for you? Anybody before we go into the loving kindness meditation?
I mean, for me, meditation is way easier just because I can do it in 10 minutes than an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, I do yoga in half an hour these days too, just when
Yeah.
I have to. But the idea that like I could do that for 10 minutes. And once I do it, I just, I don't always feel amazing afterwards, but I always feel like this sense of like, oh, I've had a time to like check in with myself.
Mhm.
It's like more, it just seems more doable,
Yeah.
especially than like a longer like yoga class.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, especially since you don't really have much time, I guess really good attitude to have, I think. Yeah, that's a really good point. It's like, what, 10 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes, like, but duh, like how much is that, right? Yeah.
That's especially true if you are willing to set aside like having the perfect meditation setup, like you said, sitting in the car, or like
Yeah.
sometimes I just sit up in bed and do it and like let go of the judgment of like this isn't the perfect setup and you can still fit it in.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, Amy, because a lot of my meditations over the last 40 days has been putting Quinn down, and usually Quinn wants me to sit there next to her while she falls asleep. So I've just been taking that time rather than scrolling through Facebook or whatever, putting the Facebook down, just taking like 5 or 10 minutes, however long, and just meditating during that time. It's like, let go of the perfect, you know, the sun is rising, you're in your shawl on the Berkeley Hill. It's like wherever you can do it at what time. Yeah. Anybody else around meditation before I take you through this guided meditation? Okay. This meditation I'm going to teach you is called a loving kindness meditation, or a metta meditation. And so I think I told you before, and again, my apologies, because I'm teaching so much different stuff, like my advanced training and my 2.5 hour training. There are 4 kinds of meditation, and 4 different focuses. And so the first focus that we usually focus on is concentrated medicine. Medicine. It's also meditation is medicine. Concentrated meditation is when we build concentrations, we're focusing on a spot. The second kind of meditation is reflecting on a certain quality. So reflecting on the nature of impermanence as you scan the body for sensations. The other one is receptive. So being receptive to noticing thoughts arising and falling, or noticing, receptive to sounds. Sounds can also be like a way for doing that, receptive to whatever arises in your meditation. And the fourth is something called generative meditation. And this is a Western approach, by the way. Generative meditation is generating a certain quality. So like for those of you that practice with me on a regular basis, you'll note that I often, I focus a lot on concentration, but there's also time where we might focus on a quality of compassion. Like when we think about someone we care about that's going through a struggle, that is a way for us to generate compassion in our own world. Equanimity, in some ways, these all bridge, they all connect to the other kinds of meditation. But equanimity, for example, is a certain type of, you're generating a certain sense of balanced spirit through equanimity. This is this is generating loving kindness. And what I find fascinating about this meditation is that this was actually created by the Buddha, which is like the coolest thing ever, because this has been handed down through generations. And the Buddha created this to work with fear, which I kind of think about loving kindness meditation as anger. But the story goes that he asked his monks, his disciples to go to a town, and they had to travel through a forest that was supposedly had evil spirits, had lions and tigers, and had murderers and thieves that was living in this forest. And the disciples, the monks, were afraid to travel through this forest. And so he taught them this meditation. And so once they got this meditation, they're able to walk without any fear. So I can't help but think that we need meditation in such a big way in our society right now, because there's a lot of anger and there's a lot of fear. And these are both powerful antidotes to this. So why don't we try this? I think some of you have probably done meditation before. The way we do meditation is you can, if you can, find a place that is somewhat distract free. I know some of you have your kids around, but do the best that you can. And then take a moment and sit upright. And I'll take you through a meditation journey. Spend a few moments actually meditating. I'm going to close the eyes. Good. So we always start off with building concentration. And again, concentrated meditation, focusing on the breath moving out of the nostrils. Noticing the breath moving into the belly. Good, just notice. We'll spend about 5 minutes here just building concentration before I share the guided meditation. So just focus here. I'll be quiet for the next 5 minutes. All right, begin to notice the breath. And if it feels right, start exploring some Ujjayi breath to help keep yourself present. And then placing the hands onto the heart. And take a couple of feeling breaths here up to the heart. So exploring this loving kindness meditation. Traditionally, this meditation actually begins with the self. But in our world culture, it can sometimes be difficult for many people to offer loving wishes to themselves. So today we'll actually begin with to one whom it is easier to offer such thoughts, like a good friend or family member, and then we'll shift into a self. This is not forgiveness meditation, which is a further step, but only opening your heart to the pain of all beings and wishing them well is pretty much what loving kindness is about. And there is no wrong or right way to do this practice. If you happen to notice, sometimes you'll notice resistance arising around stuff for whatever reason, simply note it and re-enter this meditation whatever way it's possible. You're not requested to dive all the way in, but only to enter as deeply as is comfortable. And breathe and feel up to the heart. Bring to the heart and mind the image of one whom you have deep love for. This may be a dear friend, a parent, a teacher, or any being with a person that you have been nurtured by. And look deeply at that being, deeper than you ever have before. And see that he or she has suffered. He has felt pain of the body or the heart. She has known grief, loss, and fear. He has felt loneliness and disconnection. She has felt lost and confused. See the ways this dear one has suffered. And speaking silently from your heart, noting this one's pain, and if it feels right, offer their name. You have suffered. I see how you have felt alone, afraid, and in pain. You have felt grief. You have felt alienated, felt your heart closed. Your life has not always brought you what you might have wished for. What loving thoughts can you offer this dear one? Let the thoughts come with the breath arising and moving out. And so we offer up this blessing, this prayer for this person you care deeply about. May you be free of suffering. May you be happy. May you love and be loved. May you find the healing that you seek. May you find peace. Again, may you be free of suffering. I'll do this 3 times total for each person we're offering loving thoughts to. May you be free of suffering. May you be happy. May you love and be loved. May you find the healing that you seek. May you find peace. And going slowly here, allow your heart to connect with this dear one and open to his or her pain. And again, offering these wishes one more time, prompted by your loving heart. May you be free of suffering. May you be happy. May you love and be loved. May you find the healing that you seek. May you find peace. Now letting this loved one move aside, and in his or her place, invite in your own self. It is sometimes so hard to open our hearts to ourselves. What blocks that love? And just for experiment's sake, please follow this practice and see how it feels, even if it is difficult. Look deeply at the self and observe that just as with the loved one you thought about a moment ago, you have suffered. You have felt pain of the body, of the heart. You have known grief. You have known loss and fear. You have felt loneliness and disconnection, felt lost and confused. See the ways you have suffered without engaging in maudlin self-pity, right? This is not self-pity, but just noticing that you have suffered. Observe the wounds that you have borne. And speaking silently from your heart, this time to your own self. Again, offer your name if that feels right. I have suffered. I see how I have felt alone, afraid, and in pain. I have felt grief. I have felt alienated, felt my heart closed. My life has not always brought me what I might have wished for. What do you wish for yourself? In offering this prayer, this blessing. Again, repeat in your own mind if you like. May I be free of suffering. May I be happy. May I love and be loved. May I find the healing that I seek. May I find peace. May I be free of suffering. May I be happy. May I love and be loved. May I find the healing that I seek. May I find peace. Going slowly here, still do this one more time. Allow your heart to connect with your deepest self and to open to your pain and longing. And offer these wishes to yourself, prompted by the loving heart. May I be free of suffering. May I be happy. May I love and be loved. May I find the healing that I seek. May I find peace. Take a few breaths and just breathe it up to the heart. Just feel the sweetness of your love. Now let the self move aside, and in your place, invite in one with whom there has been hard feeling. It's best not to choose the heaviest relationship at first, but practicing with less difficult relationships and pain, and maybe move slowly toward heavier emotions. Noticing the separation between you and this person. It is so painful to be separated, to maintain that separation. A wise teacher once said, never put anyone out of your heart. What blocks this opening, this connection? And just for experiment's sake, please follow this in practice and see how it feels, even if it is difficult. And if it's appropriate during this offering, please express your own pain too as you speak to this one. And maybe you can note where your pain and this person's pain, there's a space that connects you. Given this one's name, speak from your heart. And we say this to this person in your mind. You have hurt me through your words, your acts, even your thoughts. Through what came from you, I have experienced pain. Yet when I look deeply, I see you have also known pain. You have suffered. I see how you have felt alone, afraid, and in pain. You have felt grief. You have felt alienated, felt your heart closed. Your life has not always brought you what you might have wished for. And so we offer up this blessing to this person. May you be free of suffering. May you be happy. May you love and be loved. May you find the healing that you seek. May you find peace. Again, may you be free of suffering. May you be happy. May you love and be loved. May you find the healing that you seek. May you find peace. Going slowly, allow your heart to connect with this one, to open to his or her pain, and offer these wishes prompted by your loving heart. May you be free of suffering. May you be happy. May you love and be loved. May you find the healing that you seek. May you find peace. Couple of deep breaths up to the heart, just feel. If you happen to have tears, it's good to have some breath to help move whatever anger or sadness or fear you have in your heart. So recognizing that throughout the world, all beings suffer. And so we're going to share a metta meditation to everybody everywhere. And one of the ways I've heard this described is like you have this kind of really beautiful light in your heart that's generated through loving kindness. And you can imagine like from your heart is like a beacon, a lighthouse of good energy and good vibes, like spreading out to everyone everywhere. And it's kind of like 360 degrees of loving kindness all around the world. And so we offer up this prayer, this blessing. May all beings everywhere be free of suffering. May all beings be happy. May all love and be loved. May all find the healing that they seek. May all beings everywhere find perfect peace. May all beings everywhere be free of suffering. May all beings be happy. May all love and be loved. May all find the healing that they seek. May all beings everywhere find perfect peace. May all beings everywhere be free of suffering. May all beings be happy. May all love and be loved. May all find the healing that they seek. May all beings everywhere find perfect peace. Bring the hands in prayer and find the heart. So recognizing that this meditation that we do, this yoga practice that we do, in some ways feels somewhat narcissistic. It's like, how much time do we need for ourselves, right? But recognizing in a really deep way that the work we're doing here is so much more about ourselves, right? If we can cultivate loving kindness for ourselves, and there's a good chance that we can start sharing that with people around us, right? A wise man once said, "What the world needs now is love, sweet love." I think that was Rumi or someone like cool like that. Hafiz, maybe. Just joking around. All right. So knowing that we're doing here, right? When we show up for ourselves, we're showing up for the world. Okay. So we offer up our efforts away. Bowing forward. Namaste. Cool. Oh, loving kindness. So good. Okay, so what I wanted to do is, for about 10, 15 minutes is actually call in the 4 directions to close off the ceremony, and then we will do a little a talking circle. Why don't I give you a quick little 3-minute pee break, because we're going to be sitting, we're going to be in front of the TV, in front of your computer for about another 45 minutes to an hour. Okay, so why don't you take a quick little pee break and come back. And also, just so you know, a bunch of you are on Insight Timer. That might be a good way to do a buddy up. Looks like Lori's on. Josie looks like she's interested in joining, and Brian. So maybe we can create one out of this. That might be a fun thing to do. I can set it up. Has anybody set up an Insight Timer support before group?
Well, there's a new feature called circles. It's pretty easy to set up a circle of people that are already on it if you can find the people on Insight Timer. So if you need help with that, Pete, I'm happy to do that.
Okay. I'll look into it and then I'll send an email. How's that sound?
Okay.
For all the 40 dares to keep us together. Thanks. Put that on my calendar now so I don't forget. Yes.
the 4 types of meditation that you went through in the chat or email it or something?
Yeah, let me bring it up real quick.
I didn't take notes on it.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's a really fascinating breakdown. I have them right here. I actually have the article that I got it from. I'm gonna mail that to you right now, okay? So you have it. Okay. Let's get the 4 directions going. So come into a comfortable seat. For those of you that were with me on the first day, I did the 4 directions. It's a ritual to create a sacred, safe space. And I usually like to do it at the beginning of a journey together and at the end. And I also like to take a moment to honor the where this tradition came from. I learned this from Native American perspective, but this has been handed down through many, many different cultures. And so, you know, just taking a moment here, and if you can touch the floor real quick and just bow humbly to our elders and ancestors that have shared this ritual throughout the thousands and thousands of years to create a sacred space to honor the moment. Okay. I'm going to burn a little bit of sage and some sweetgrass as well as some Palo Santo. And just a reminder, I usually turn to face east. I'll go around the directions. But you want to do that, you can. And at the end of each direction, I usually say aho, which is short for Aho Matequiesen, which is Native American for all my relations, or hallelujah. You could say amen or right on, whatever feels right for you, okay? Or nothing if you don't want to. Powers of the East, grandparents of the East, we invite you here to join us and bring your powers of protection to this practice, to our community, to the ceremony, to our journey after this 40 days. We ask your help to keep out and filter out any negative, toxic, dulling energy. We also ask your help to live this moment and every moment in a good way. East is a place of enlightenment, place of wisdom. Each new day for all begins in the East with the rising of the Father's Son. Place of birth and rebirth. East, many of us have revealed things about ourselves through the 40 days, right? And we've explored new ways of being, whether it be working with how we're eating, or maybe noticing that it's harder for us to give up alcohol, more hard than we imagined, or some of our bad habits, right? And also some of us might have started to notice how meditation supports us more than we could ever have imagined. And in some ways, you know, we think about the East as the beginning. This end of the 40 days in some ways is a new beginning for a lot of us. Because now we take what we've learned and we try to incorporate it into our daily life and let it become a place of support for us, a exercise to support us on our journey. So East, we ask your help in beginning this journey away, and noting that there's still a lot more work to do. Like it never ends. There's always work to be done, but can we please have a little bit of a smile on our face and a whistle while we work kind of attitude? Doesn't always have to be all grim and kind of growl, right? Okay, aho, powers of the east. Turning to face south. Powers of the south. We invite you here to join us to bring your powers of protection to this ceremony, this community. We ask your help to keep out and filter out any negative, toxic, dulling energy. We also ask your help to live this moment and every moment in a good way. South is the place of water and healing, place where we have forgiveness and understanding and compassion. South, we ask your help in walking the path of inquiry and of understanding, right? We might have started to notice, God, you know, whenever I feel this kind of emotion is where I want to eat, or whenever I feel like triggered, I go to anxiety. And so there's a sense of inquiry, of curiosity, and that helps to support understanding. Help us to keep walking the path of understanding. There's a great saying, right? That I think it's Jack Kornfield said it. It was actually the Buddha, close though. To understand everything is to forgive everything. So this deep sense of understanding can help support mending relationships with ourselves and with the people we care about. There's also another beautiful quote about forgiveness that actually Jack did say. It goes like this: forgiveness means giving up all hope of a better past. That one hit home to me when I read that one. Forgiveness means giving up all hope of a better past. Help us to work in a way of understanding and forgiveness for ourselves and for the people in our community. Aho, powers of the South. Powers of the West. We invite you here to join us and bring your powers of protection to this ceremony, this community. We ask your help to keep out and filter out any negative, toxic, dulling energy. We also ask your help to live this moment and every moment in a good way. West is the place of death and of natural endings, about the natural rhythms of life, place of fall time. West. We ask your help to keep out and filter out any negative, toxic, dulling energy. We also ask your help to live this moment and every moment in a good way. We ask your help, West, in recognizing that we sometimes think we have all the time in the world to get shit done, to work in a healing way. And you know, there's all these reminders around us that we might not be having so much time, right? Could be looking in the mirror and seeing more wrinkles, or losing hair, or it could be a loved one passing on. And so we get to choose, right? There's that beautiful little saying from Shawshank Redemption: you either get busy living or you get busy dying. And in some ways, when we're choosing things that no longer nourish us, in some ways we're feeding a dead way of being. Could be with job stuff, right? Maybe you're coming up against some choices around working in a job situation, right? And it's like, what livens my spirit, or what dulls me out? That's a good question to ask. Or it could be your relationship to alcohol. You know, it's like, what I've noticed is that, I don't really, alcohol doesn't really resonate with me. I love the taste of it, but it doesn't really help me sleep very well at night. It's not the best thing for me. So maybe you got some insights around there. And so West is a place of kind of letting go, of choosing to let go of things that no longer nourish us. And the way I describe it, the way I like to think about it is like a tree. If a tree held onto its leaves all the time, the leaf kind of sucks the life force from the tree. And if it's dead leaves, are sucking life force from the tree. So the tree has to let go of the leaves to refeed itself, so it can grow new leaves. And that's true for us as well. So Wes, we ask your help in noting what we can let go of to nourish us. Aho, powers of the West. Powers of the North. We invite you here to join us to bring your powers of protection. We ask your help in keeping out and filter out any negative, toxic, dulling energy. We also ask your help to live this moment and every moment in a good way. North is the place of our elders and our ancestors and our wise ones. And this is this understanding that for us to grow and evolve, we got to be challenged, right? There's an old saying about how a docked boat does not make a skilled sailor, right? The boat needs to leave the harbor for a sailor to be made. And that's true with us, right? We gotta be tried. We gotta be tested. We won't grow if we sit in a beautiful garden. Got to get out there. Got to live life. So, North, we've had our fair share of challenges over the last 40 days, and especially over the last 8 months. We ask your help and continue to grow and understand about how to live life the most fullest way we can possible, even when there's a pandemic going on. Aho, powers of the North. And just finishing up with, for all the beauty that is in this world, for the beauty that is in our skies, for the beauty that lives on this earth and grows out off the earth, for the beauty that swims in our oceans and seas, for the beauty that lives in each and every one of us, inside of us, may we see that beauty and feel that beauty and thus walk all of our days in beauty. Aho. Okay. So I thought we could do a little talking circle. And if you want to write down these questions, you can. This is, it's pretty simple, right? It's name. What are you grateful for? Then what did you get out of the experience and what do you hope to do moving forward? What did you get out of the experience and what do you want to do moving forward? Okay. Okay, let me bring up the peeps on my screen. I'm going to stop this. If you forget what it is, I'll let you know what the questions are. And then I'm going to time us for about 3 minutes. And so we'll go, you have about 3 minutes to share and I'll ring the bell after 3 minutes. And if you're still talking, just wrap it up. Okay. Naomi, since you're the first person on this little screen, would you mind sharing what you're grateful for and what you get out of this experience?
I'm grateful for you, Pete.
Thank you, Naomi.
You're one of my favorites, and I want to thank you for your support in helping me get my Yoga Works passes hooked up. I was able to take a class today, finally. I'm also grateful that I did this, and I was able to quit smoking weed in like 2 weeks. Almost 2 weeks. So what I got out of it I got that out of it, and I got some more meditation, and I got to share with everyone who is here. So I'm also grateful for everyone that showed up for this, and listening to, people's struggles and people's accomplishments also. And so I got a lot out of that. And then what am I going to do going forward? I kind of forgot the questions.
Yeah.
Okay. What I'm going to do going forward, I think is just that I'm going to do my best to do this meditation and I like the meditation. I've been hearing a lot about it in podcasts. People it's been coming up a lot in a lot of different places. So, yeah, I'd like to continue practice the meditation.
Thanks, Naomi.
Mhm.
And just commenting about Naomi. So, we've been learning different ways of meditating. I don't want to take away from the talking circle, but just briefly to talk about that. You'll know that sometimes if you're running anger and it's distracting you from meditating or being a good person, meditation might be a good antidote for you, right? They'll notice like, oh, I'm running a lot of anger right now. I need to calm down. Let me do metta. So these ways of meditating are supporting us being a good person. It's like really such a neat thing to think about. It's like, oh, okay. I just need to sprinkle meditation today before I be like, this is for talking about myself, before I be an asshole to my wife, Okay, thank you. Amy?
Yeah. I'm going to echo some of what Naomi said. I'm really grateful for you, Pete. And honestly, I've been able to find a little gratitude for this pandemic because I wouldn't have been able to practice as much with you without it. So I've been grateful for that. I'm also grateful for impermanence, that this is going to pass, and that we're going to find a way back to community in person. But this has been, the 40 days has been such a gift for me, just to be able to connect in community in this really creative way. My focus this time, since I've done this with you before, was really around the meditation and working to establish more of a consistent practice. And I feel like I've done a decent job at that. One of the things that I've learned is that I think because there's just so much going on in the world, and there's just a lot to get your mind spinning, is if I spend 5 minutes journaling and then sit down and meditate, I have a much clearer experience. So I've been kind of playing with that a lot, and I'd like to continue that process going forward.
That's a great idea, Amy. Thank you for sharing that suggestion. Marion, did you want to share?
Sure, yeah. I guess I'm grateful for the pandemic in this weird way, that it's sort of like it's required a lot of us to sort of reset and check in, and we can't just keep going forward like normal. I think that there's a lot of value to that, even though there's all these terrible things too. But I've been grateful for that part of it. And in terms of what I got out of this, I mean, for me, it's sort of like in that theme again, like a chance to reset and to stop being unconscious about all the choices I've made. I was telling Pete earlier that like I've been having a cocktail a night just because like I was like, I need to like soften up something in my head here. It's a little too much. But then to like step back and not do that for a little while, I was like, oh, like this actually doesn't taste good to me right now. Like it doesn't feel good in my body. So just this sort of chance to step back and reset has been really powerful. The meditation has been the most important thing for me, just because I haven't had a ton of time to do more yoga, but I have had like 15 minutes twice a day to just like, again, like sort of reset, like stop moving forward mindlessly for a minute, has sort of allowed me to I don't know, just get clearer, feel more grounded, and like be more conscious about the choices I'm making. And that's sort of what I'm looking forward to going forward as well. I think I'm going to use the meditation as just this like reset time. Whatever comes up, just like taking a moment, whatever is so important in my normal life can wait 15 minutes, no matter what it is. Whether it's the news or my kid or my job or whatever else, like that sort of like sacred time of like, oh, like I don't have to move forward all the time. Like I can just pause. And I think some of the stuff around thinking about what I'm eating and putting in my body have been helpful, just to sort of ask myself what I actually want instead of sort of these automatic responses. So, yeah.
Thank you, Marion.
Mhm.
Ellie? Hi, Ellie.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, so well said. What everybody has said, you know, my first thing I thought I was grateful for was the time to do this, because of COVID, and it is like the word reset really resonates for me too. And so grateful for you, Pete. I did not know you before. And for my friend who introduced us, um, it just is like been so cool to be able to get back into meditating, to doing yoga, even though I just gave up on yoga, and because I didn't have my place where I went to go do yoga. And I was just getting into all kinds of bad habits. And I found a lot of silver linings in this pandemic of stopping. It just takes away all that busyness and running around and constant stuff that I was doing. And now it's just like been really great to have time. I honestly really love doing the not eating sugar. Like, just at first I just thought, oh, I don't even think I'll notice that because I don't really care about sugar, but I feel different, and now I have like a whole different idea about that. I do not think I would have done this. I was definitely drinking all the time, drinking every day. And I was a wonderful reset. I didn't have a drink for 23 days. And then the night of the election, I celebrated because I was sure that, the good would prevail. And I celebrated, and I felt terrible the next day. So I thought that was a really good, hello. So I feel like I've learned a lot. I've gotten some like balance and some softening and good habits of meditation and journaling and yoga, and being more conscious of what I'm doing to myself, and how I'm being in the world, instead of just running around like Attila the Hun trying to conquer everything. It's like, oh, I do not have to do that. So it's just been great. So I'm so grateful for you being my guide. And I've never done anything like with a community of people before that I don't know or have a background with. And so that's been really a good experience for me of curiosity and trust. And oh my gosh, I mean, I've learned so much from everybody. So I've always been really shy and careful about doing stuff like that. And, it's been really, really nice. It's been really fun. So anyway, thank you everybody for sharing and letting me be part of it.
Thank you, Ellie. Maya, I'm gonna go back up to you. Hi, Maya. Maya, you're still there you go. Hi.
Classic error. Hi. Yeah, as Ellie was saying, I feel really grateful for the sense of community and being able to share with you all and learn from everyone, because everyone brings something so like fresh and new to the table, and it's been nice to be vulnerable with other people and kind of get the community back that we like had in the yoga studio. I think that's been really nice and maybe something we've all been missing. And I'm grateful to meditate again. Like the first time I really meditated was about 7 years ago, and I had a great teacher who kind of like taught me how to meditate. And then since then I've like, I've remembered that feeling, but I haven't really brought myself back to it in like a dedicated way. So to kind of have this framework to do that was really great. Something else I'm super grateful for is I've been like talking about kind of what I've been like learning and going through with my therapist. And she mentioned to me that like she's done a ton of Vipassana and Buddhist meditation. So now we have this like whole new kind of like wealth of knowledge that we can connect about and like integrate into my everyday life, which is just like, I don't think we would have kind of talked about that without this 40 days. So that's just been like a huge kind of revelation, which I'm really grateful for. And experience wise, I feel like in some way, like I feel more intentional in the way that I like speak with other people, especially if frustration or anger or something is coming up. I feel like meditation, just like thinking about equanimity and all these things has really helped me kind of like not just like blurt out whatever I feel like I need to say, but like take the time to like say like, hey, do I need to say this thing? B, if I do feel like I need to say it, try and say it in a kind way. And it's not perfect every time, but it's getting better, and I feel more aware of that, which is great. And I feel like it's helped relationships with my family and with my partner, and that's been really wonderful. And then moving forward, I hope to keep up with the meditation, and I'm really sad that this is over because it's been such a great kind of check-in every week, as well as every day trying to improve my practice. So I'm hoping to keep it up, regardless if it's, formally over. We can all still have the Insight Circle or some other Facebook way, or, some way we connect. That would be really nice. And just keep the learning going, not like kind of be like, okay, 40 days is over, I don't need to read Pete's worksheets anymore. Go back and like reread them, read some of the books that you listed, or finish the books that you listed. And then, I think that's my plan for the future.
Thank you, Maya. Josie, did you want to go? Hi, Josie.
Hello,
Hello.
I'm Josie. I got what I got out of this experience. Is that the first part? I think so.
Yes. What are you grateful for, and what you
Oh,
got?
I'm sorry. I knew I was forgetting something. What am I grateful for? Yeah, I am grateful that I have the kind of life that allows me to do things like this and have the exposure to these kinds of things. I'm grateful for all of you having shared. It's been inspirational, both to hear some of my feelings reflected in in ways that are helpful, and to see the things that are benefiting you that, for example, meditation I've totally fallen off on, and to hear the reminders from all of you of how beneficial it is good. I have gotten from this experience I'm a lot more tuned into what nourishes me, what kinds of food nourish me, the fact that alcohol doesn't really nourish me, the fact that Facebook really, really doesn't nourish me. And I feel like I'm in all of those ways, I'm making much better choices now about what I fill my time with and what I put in my body. And I feel physically and mentally much, much, much better. So I think I'll probably be pretty successful at taking those things forward. And I think I'm going to try to reconnect with the meditation too, with all of your inspiration.
Thank you, Josie.
My pleasure.
Brian, did you want to go? Hi, Brian.
Sure. In terms of gratitude that I'm feeling right now, I think I'm most grateful for being able to integrate my yoga home practice with all of you. It's just been so wonderful to check in, talk to each of you about how your practice is and motivating each other. Being in an environment where you can study this wonderful philosophy to augment your home practice and to really apply it. So that's probably what I'm most grateful for, as opposed to what I got out of this. I mean, I don't know really where to begin, but I think some highlights would be a re-emphasis on the 4 aims of our soul, like Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. And just to really get your perspective on that, Pete, I just really, really found it really powerful. And, I think that goes in lockstep with what I want to take out of this, is just to really think through and apply, like, say, from our last session, more of those principles. Because I think when you study them, they can really evolve over time. So it's just really good to do that exercise. So thank you for that. I do love your transformation for change. So thank you for making that a part of it. I don't know if you really talked about the whole concept of breathing, feeling, and notice, but that is like hardwired in my brain when I think of you, Pete. What am I feeling, and just trying to breathe through anything. So I guess that's part of the transformation for change, or but I'm also very grateful for that, and I will continue to apply that, as well as a lot of the information that you've shared on mindful eating. So thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Lori, did you want to share?
Sure. Gee, I'm thinking a lot of the same things that others have said, but I want to share how grateful I am for the community that you've created here, Pete, in this safe space to share and to learn from other people. That's been really a highlight of this experience for me. And then I'm thankful for you, Pete, for letting me join the morning intensives the week of the election. I don't know that I would have made it through managing my stress that week if it wasn't for the 40 days and the morning yoga and meditation every day that just really try to kind of allowed me to keep my sanity. And I'm very grateful for that. And grateful too that because of the pandemic and being able to work from home, I've had the time to have that time in the morning instead of rushing to commute and get into the office. I've been able to have a slow start where I've done yoga in the morning and meditated in the morning, and I'm grateful that that's available to me. I know it's not everybody has that opportunity. In terms of what I hope to get out of it, I want to keep some of the positive habits. I feel like it's been a good jumpstart, and certainly meditation is one. And I haven't mastered it at all. I was sharing today that 20 minutes is my maximum. But I kind of want to keep working on it. And mornings are a really good time for me to do that. So I want to take that out of it. And then I also learned that doing without caffeine and alcohol, is a good thing. And I've added them back, but at a much lower level than I was using them before. And I think I was kind of using both of those things as crutches in different situations. So I'm looking forward to getting past that. So thank you.
Jenny. Hi, Jenny.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, Pete, I'm so grateful for so many things.
Right.
I missed you, and I'm so grateful that you offered this course online and that I kept receiving your emails and that I was able to take part in this. I was just feeling sluggish and slow, and I gained weight with the quarantine, and I needed a shake up, and this was perfect. It was perfect. I am just so proud, to have been able to at least meditate once a day, every day for the last, I think we're technically on day 43 or something. That's something I've just never, ever done before. And I can see all of the ways that it's helped me, specifically with anxiety reduction, which I've really struggled with in the last year. So just to see such a major change in 40 odd days was awesome. It also helped me kind of reconnect to my yoga mat, and I found a lot of great instructors online. And so it's definitely something that I'm going to make a part of my physical activity routine. And just having a group to meet every Sunday and to be accountable for, I really appreciate everyone being so candid about their experience, and kind of just, we're all being human together, and that's always reassuring to know that you're not alone going through all of these things. So yeah, I'm sad. It's bittersweet that this is ending, but I'm looking forward to connecting with people on Insight Timer. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Jenny. Caroline? Hi.
Yeah, I definitely echo a lot of what Jenny said. I feel really grateful that everyone, I just feel grateful for the opportunity to hear from everyone how folks are doing in such like a honest, vulnerable, open way, and totally relate, like that has made me feel less crazy or less, whatever. Yeah, I think I'm just appreciative of how many tools you gave us, Pete. Like I don't necessarily feel like I've transformed my life in the last 6 weeks. But I certainly, which is nothing wrong with you, just that's me. But I feel like I have a lot more tools in the toolbox that I can kind of pull a different one out for what I need. So I really appreciate that. And then I also, like you said, just that regular time to check in, like these Sundays where it's this required kind of time to stop and reflect on this past week, and like, was this past week, did I live, were my actions in alignment with my intentions? To what degree were they or not? So I think that's the biggest thing for me that I'd like to keep on, is like having some kind of structured time, whether it's each day or each week, where I really ask myself that question, and it's not with judgment, just like, what were the things that I feel good about in the past week, and what were the things that next week I'll switch it up a little. So yeah, really appreciate that.
Cool. Thanks for sharing that, Caroline. Anne? Hi, Anne.
Hi. So I don't have, I don't think really anything to add. What everybody said. The one thing that I will say is that I do kind of feel like when this class started, I feel like I was kind of spiraling, kind of downward, kind of feeling a little bit like I was getting out of control. And so it was really wonderful to have the class that had guidelines for kind of reining a lot of that craziness in. So I'm really grateful that I'm really grateful that it happened when it did. I thank you, Pete, for doing that. It was really nice to have it in the midst of all the craziness. In terms of what I got out of the experience, I think that it's really helped in terms of me eating mindfully. I'm not eating as crazily as I was. I'm eating at the table, enjoying the food more often than not now, and just being more in touch with what tastes good and feels good to eat. I've been drinking less, and I've fallen off on the yoga a little bit the last couple weeks. I kind of did fine through the election in that week, but then when things didn't get resolved, I just I'd held it together for that long, and then I just fell apart. But the other thing that I really have liked is the meditation. I'm still just doing little teeny tiny chunks, but I'm pretty much doing it every day. And people around me are kind of saying that they've noticed a difference. And it's really nice to feel like, oh, I can meditate. Or maybe I need to go meditate or whatever. So that part's really nice. And I'm hoping to continue on that.
Yeah, that sounds almost like a safe word, Anne. I need to go meditate. Give me a moment before we go. Yeah, meditate, but meditation first.
Yeah.
Laurel or Jules, would you like to share what you're grateful for? Yeah, Laurel. And what did you get out of this experience?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I'm grateful for a ton. You know, I had a tough day today. We were supposed to go up to my sister's for Thanksgiving in Washington, Bainbridge. We've been going up there a lot this summer, and it was like, coronavirus is out there. And, you know, it's like, you know, everything's just changing. So I am grateful that we had that meditation just now, because I'm living in the present. And it made me think about my sister, and because we're both going through the struggle of sharing this loss of traditions that we're all about to go through. So I'm grateful for that at this moment. I have been drinking less, but not fully, and that's been great. So I have had a little perspective, and I'm quarantining. So, yeah. Nick, come on over here, buddy, and help me out. It's Nick's turn.
Hi, Nick. Thank you, Laurel. Thank you, Jules. Nick, we're asking, what are you grateful for and what'd you get out of the experience?
Okay. Well, so I think for me, it's just about, I mean, I kind of tiptoed into it, and I didn't do the best job that I wish I had with being able to commit to all of the things. And I think we both realize that, you know, there's a challenge with managing family, that it's probably much easier for one person to do this at a time. But that being said, I still, you know, kind of refocused on exercise and eating more healthfully and reducing the consumption of alcohol. And I think that part's been really beneficial, and actually some more mindfulness and meditation has been, I think, helpful about just, I guess, refocusing on all the things going on right now that I am grateful for. And I mean, luckily for us, are a lot of things that I feel very fortunate that we've been able to adapt during these pandemic times in a way that has actually been okay for our family. And having the little ones actually has been helpful in a lot of ways, because they remind us, you know, of all the joy and innocence and stuff. So for those reasons, it's been good to just take this period of time and refocus on those things that are most important. And that's probably the thing I'm most grateful about through the experience.
Good job.
Thank you, Nick. I appreciate that.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to Shauna. Thanks to both of you. Shauna?
Hey, Pete. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a really nice opportunity to be in community with all of you. I actually broke my arm on Monday of this week, so it's been a really crazy week for me. I wasn't really able to keep up with the program other than like week 2, but I've really appreciated just being a part of the community and just listening to people's experiences. And yeah, I appreciate having the template, and that I can be able to do this at some point.
when I'm able to practice yoga again.
Mm. Thank you, Shauna. Yeah. I'm glad you're here, Shauna. Sarah?
Hi. Shauna, I'm sending you good vibes over your way.
All right.
Yeah, definitely. Because I just feel like that's one thing about this program a little bit is like we're all in different spaces and, you know, there's no judgment, which is really great. And I just kind of thought maybe coming into this, like everyone was going to be perfect and on their A game. And everyone was very real about where they were at. They're like, I didn't do that. I did this, that, you know, whatever. And I really appreciate that. And everybody's honesty and vulnerability. And so don't be so tough on yourself. Yeah. And sending you good vibes. But, and I feel like everybody said kind of everything that I really want to say, which is great, right, Pete? Like you're not getting this wide variety of people saying so many different things. But I think one of my biggest things is very grateful to reconnect with Pete. He was such a big part of my life in the city for so long, and I feel like really helps. Yeah, he was my guide, and so I'm just so grateful that I was able to have this time to practice, to connect, to learn, to just have you back in my life again. And so, and this community of people every Sunday in my life. And I did not do perfect at all on this path, but the one thing I really did get out of this experience, hands down, that I you know, I've done a better job at my eating and my yoga for sure in the past, but the meditation was I did really good job at meditation, and I'm just so grateful to just connect with everyone on the meditation and learn. And I'm just mind blown how I almost crave to meditate now, which is really weird. Even in the middle of the day, I'm like, I think I just want to sit and meditate. Not that I have time to sit and meditate in the middle of the day, but if I did, I would like to. I feel like it's really calmed me. It's really connected me. I have some things going in my life right now, and I feel like it's giving me a little bit of clarity. So I just really appreciate that. Yeah, and I just hope to continue my meditation and get back on my yoga a little bit better, hopefully in the future. And yeah, and I'm just stoked on this, that I got a chance to do this. So thank you.
Thank you, Sarah, for sharing. You know, I often think about, I get lots of feedback, and I've heard a couple of you say like this community, and I often get feedback, people thanking me for creating this community. And I can't help but reflect to you that really, that truthfully, that this community supports me just as much as I feel like I'm helping to create this community for you, but it's also so much for me. And you know, there's a saying that I share with my trainees, and I think this is so true, that there is no separation between the healer and the healed. And what I mean by that is that every time that I'm providing a space for you to walk in your healing path, whether it be talking about equanimity, being vulnerable around our foibles and our mistakes and our stumbles, breathe, feel, notice, the formula for change, all these things, when I'm providing a space for you and I witness you being vulnerable with me, it cracks me open a little bit, gives me more information, gives me more wisdom. And I can't help but get a little bit teary-eyed about that. So I thank you for being a part of this community. I needed this 40 days as much as you needed this 40 days. Like, I was just like, oh my God, I so need a 40 days. And so I have so much gratitude for you showing up. And it's so funny, like the first weekend we had almost 30 people, and this is what happens all the time. But I love all of you being the core, showing up, and inspires me to show up. And so thank you all for being here. What do I hope to do moving forward? One of the things I hope to do moving forward is having more 40 days in my life. And so I'm actually planning on, I did it every year for a long time, but it takes up quite a bit of time because we're meeting every week. But I think I'm gonna have to put it in place for every year. And I think just as a reconnection moment, it's like, oh, okay, I've noticed that my eating habits have gotten a little bit out of control. Let me do the 40 days again. Maybe you want to enjoy that. So that's what I hope to do moving forward. I hope to do either 40 days. I actually shifted the 40 days. Last time I offered, it was called the 21 day. So maybe I'll do a 21 day as well, every other year or something of that sort. Yeah, so that's about it. Yeah, I just wanted to thank you all for being here. And I also want to let you know that I'm planning on doing another 40 days. I will be sending an email out with everyone's email on that email, and also a opportunity for you to give feedback about the 40 days and maybe a testimonial and that sort of thing. And then I'll also I'll try to get the insight timer thing circle set up so that we can connect through. I think it's a really great way to connect through meditation. And maybe it's, once a week you come together, once every morning you come together as a group to meditate. If that works for you, we can figure that out. I think that'd be really, really good. Yeah, and just some of you know that I teach a Thanksgiving class. I've decided that I'm going to teach my Thanksgiving class via Zoom from 8 to 10 on Thanksgiving Day. And I'll have Quinn and Stephanie come in and assist in the way they used to. Stephanie used to assist me every Thanksgiving. So it'll be an hour and a half of us and a half an hour of a guided journaling opportunity. And hopefully I'll bring some semblance of back when we used to be together as a community, which I miss a lot. Okay, any comments or questions before we wrap up our time together?
I just wanted to say that I'm excited for you to build a new studio in your space, and that I'm not on Facebook or any of those things, but hopefully I'll get to see some, before and after pictures, and
Yeah.
I'm just excited for you.
Thanks, Naomi. Right now, we actually have two projects going. One is actually creating an online platform that's just a page for all the Yoga Tree teachers. And so I'm going to call it the Yoga Tree Collective or something of that sort. And so you can go find the Yoga Tree teachers and sign up for their classes through there. That's the one project I'm creating. And then the next bigger project is looking at a brick and mortar place to provide this. I just drove past Yoga Tree Telegraph today, and there's a sign up on that says for lease. And it kind of broke my heart a little bit. Yeah, I know, right? Opportunity, but it kind of broke my heart a little bit too, because I've been teaching there for so long. And I know Jenny was there doing the training with me way back when, Amy too, and Naomi. A lot of you have spent a lot of time with me at that studio as my student or a trainee. And it's kind of heartbreaking to see that. And I've been in touch with the real estate agent about that space. But I'm also thinking it might be premature to jump in to rent a space. I think we gotta have to let things settle a little bit. And so we'll see how that works out. But I appreciate you saying that, Naomi. I feel like I'm being supported by my community. That means a lot. Thank you. Yeah, anything else? Anything else? Okay, I love all of you. It's been a fun 40 days. I'm sorry to hear about your arm, Shauna. That's a bummer, huh? It's hard to practice yoga with a broken arm, but I'm sure you'll figure it out.
I can still make the heart. Right?
Yeah, that's important. Exactly right. Okay. I love you guys. We'll catch you next time. Okay.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you around the way.
Hey, can we take a quick picture, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
Quick picture. Okay, here goes. Smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.